In the year 2016, Aliko Dangote actually tried to buy Arsenal, but things didn't go right for him. So he decided to backtrack until 2021, the year in which we are. Welcome back to Arsenal's Daily. Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal Podcast. My name is Kosi, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Aliko Dangote's takeover of Arsenal. He has been interested for so long. Is it the time? Is it going to happen? Is it going to finally happen? Are we getting rid of Stan Kroenke? But before we jubilate, before we rejoice, before we jump in joy, there are so many questions to ask ourselves. Is he, Aliko Dangote, worth $11 billion? Is he the right man? Is he the kind of owner Arsenal is looking for? Are we moving from Stan Kroenke to Aliko Dangote for the right reason? Smash the like button, get your subscriptions in, and I want to know your comments and ideas on Aliko Dangote taking on Arsenal in what would be a 2 billion takeover, which would not be a big problem for him because he's going to be making the money, but he also has the money. So we're going to be discussing that and more. So guys, please do get involved in the chat and tell me what you think about Aliko Dangote taking on Arsenal as its new owner. In 2016, just to give you a little background, he wanted to take over the club. He wanted to buy the club, but by then it was very expensive, and he said he wanted to actually go and concentrate back on his refinery projects in Nigeria. And so that means he couldn't actually buy Arsenal. He wanted to concentrate on his projects and the industrialization. And of course, then he said he didn't want to buy just he didn't want to just buy Arsenal. He wanted to buy Arsenal so that he could actually change much of the way things are done. So is it the right time Dangote takes on Arsenal? Reports have made it clear in football.london that this June or July or May, in the summer, Dangote will meet with Stan Kroenke to discuss his takeover in 2021. Arsenal fans, should we be excited? I'm gonna be quoting Dangote's words in 2016, and that's where we're going to base our debate on. Is he the kind of guy we want? Because he has the money. I think he's worth $11.5 billion, and Stan Kroenke is around $9.5 billion. So I think you could see we are getting someone who's a little bit richer. But is it about the money, or is it about the spirit of the person taking on the club? Because if you look at people or men like Abramovich at Chelsea, the way he loves the club, the amount of attachment he has with Chelsea, he's like a fan. He is very, very passionate about Chelsea, and he's gonna spend all it takes to see Chelsea thrive, to see Chelsea go back to the top. And it's a big question: can Arsenal actually go back to the top? And for me, one of the things that I think are affecting us is the owner that can't actually invest because he is not interested in football. Nonetheless, he is not interested in Arsenal. So Football London have just quoted the man himself, Aliko Dangote, in 2016, and he said, we backtracked because we were very busy doing other things, especially our industrialization. When we get this refinery on track, I'll have enough time and enough resources to pay what they are asking for. In September 2016, he stated that a takeover would be a question of timing rather than money. It's not about buying Arsenal and just continuing with business as usual, Dangote said. He said, it's about buying Arsenal and turning it around. I've run a very successful business, and I think I can also run a very successful team. Right now, with what we are facing, over 20 billion of projects, I cannot do both. There is no doubt I'll buy Arsenal if it's not a problem of money. And then he says the issue is that we have more challenging headwinds. I need to get those out of the way fast and start having tailwinds. Then I'll focus on this. That is Aliko Dangote there speaking about his takeover at Arsenal, and said in August 2017 he reiterated his desire to become the next Arsenal owner. I don't want to go after Arsenal until I deliver my refinery. Once I deliver, I will go after Arsenal. At the moment, we are a little bit off track. We didn't really realize what we were going to need, almost 70 million cubic centimeters of sand, but we are catching up, and I'm sure we'll be able to deliver it by the last quarter of 2017. So and in January 2020, he stated once more that when his current business interests are concluded, he will move for the Gunners. And he said, it is a team that, yes, I would like to buy someday. But what I want to keep saying is we have 20 billion worth of projects, and that's what I really want to concentrate on. I'm trying to finish building the company, and then after we finish, we may be sometime in 2021 we can. I'm not buying Arsenal right now. I'm buying Arsenal when I finish all these projects, because I'm trying to take the company to the next level. According to KPMG in 2020, who measures club's enterprise value, which is a measure of company's total value, a popular metric used to value a company for a potential takeover. Arsenal stands at 2.073 billion, and with Dangote reportedly worth cool 11.5 billion, that would give him ample money to spend on buying out Stan Kroenke. So that is, Dangote on his ideas. On what it would take for him to buy Arsenal. Is he interested? Now we know, at least we know he is interested in buying the club. He wants to take on the club. It is in his desire, to buy Arsenal. But for me, it doesn't end there. We have seen a lot of takeovers in football, and they have not worked out. The question is, first and foremost, is how much is he willing to, invest in Arsenal? That's the first thing. Are we going to see an Arsenal that's going to buy players again under Dangote? Are we going to become an Arsenal that buys, that is able to buy, compete for players like Erling Haaland, players like Kylian Mbappe? Because that's the level you want to be at. When you get a takeover and you're Arsenal. Because if Stan Kroenke is buying 72 million Pepe, he's buying 45 million Thomas Partey, then the man coming in should be at least able to buy players like Erling Haaland, players like Kylian Mbappe. We should stop, hearing the tales. Arsenal was close to buying this one. Arsenal wanted this one. Then we should actually get down to business and start buying these players. And for me, I think, Dangote has the money, but I don't know his motives. He's a businessman. Many people, still have the rumors that he supports Arsenal, he loves the club, and so on. But of course, Arsenal is a $1 billion project. You're gonna make a lot of profit. So he's not coming in because he loves the club only, but he's looking at the money out there. If you can buy Stan Kroenke and you're buying a project that is worth $2 billion, that's a lot of money you're going to make. Annually, monthly, weekly, Arsenal is making money, and all of us know that the reason that's why Stan Kroenke is gonna be very hard to buy out, because he knows he's not investing so much in Arsenal and he's reaping a lot of money. Look, we are making a lot of money even, with 4 or 5 years without going to Champions League. We're not like Manchester United. United, want to make money, and they do make money, but whenever they're out of the Champions League, there's a lot to lose. But look, Arsenal has been without Champions League football for 4 years now. I think 4 years, and we're not qualifying this season. And Stan Kroenke is very, very contented bringing in junior managers. The environment at Arsenal shows you that there isn't anything to worry about when it comes to the progress of the team, as long as it makes money. So when Dangote comes in, there's some expectations we would want to see. One, personally, I want the transfer market to change. I want the transfer policies to change. I don't want to sign players like Granit Xhaka anymore. Players like, Rob Holding, I think that was 2 million from Bolton. We need to change, such things. You need to go out there, start spending some good money, because at the end of the day, this money comes back. When you win the Champions League, you're gonna get good deals. When you win the Premier League, you're gonna get prize money and good deals. Your tickets are gonna be very expensive. TV rights and TV money is going to be increased because you're champions. There's a lot of money when you're on top of your game. than when you're below. You'll never hear that Arsenal is financially more stable than Real Madrid, because Real Madrid is competing at the highest level, competing for the highest prizes, and that means they're dealing with with the biggest deals. Adidas cannot give you the same amount of money they're giving Real Madrid. They have Ronaldo, so you can't compete with them. And for me, that is where I want to see. But is it a takeover that I think can actually take place? It's gonna be very hard, in my opinion. It's gonna be very hard. Stan Kroenke knows this is what this is a project I have, because if you look at how Stan got this project, it was not buying out everybody. He bought shares. He bought Alisha Usmanov off. Then he bought, a couple of other people out, 15% shares, 10% shares, until he became the majority shareholder. And if Aliko wants to do that, then I think he better start like that. Otherwise, Stan Kroenke giving you everything in Arsenal. Maybe if he's frustrated because the club is not performing, and maybe he might not, he might project future losses, and he doesn't want to invest, maybe that. But apart from that, I still look at Arsenal in the hands of Stan Kroenke. But for me, an Aliko Dangote move would be a good one if it's gonna transform Arsenal. It's not a mere change of hands. Is it a change you expect to be very, very deep? Is it going to affect the club very deep? Because if look, if I were Dangote and I buy this club, Arteta wouldn't be manager. That's the truth. Ed wouldn't be sporting director. That is another truth. Vinay wouldn't be executive. That, so many things need to change at this football club. The good, the bad, and the ugly. All of them. All of these things will actually need to change. But anyway, Aliko Dangote wants to buy Arsenal. That is all I can discuss for now, because talks will be coming on this year around May, June. So we still wait to see whether a takeover can happen. But for me, I think there's nothing that would be so lucky than having a takeover in May, and then you have a transfer window in July, and this guy gives you around 500 million to spend on players. Because for me, I think if Arsenal is going to compete on top 5 football, it's just 5 players away. 5 players, 5 quality players away, and then we can start looking at top 5. Going back to Europa League in the 5th place, or actually going back to Champions League in the 4th place. For the title, things are a little bit, very hard. You need to build a squad. You need to, build cohesion in your team. There's so many things that you need to go, to go about with, when it comes to, top 4 and winning the league. But I think top 5, we are 5 players away. You get players like Ole Watkins, and today I'm going to be talking about Ole Watkins to Arsenal and how he would actually change our forward line, because I think he's one of those strikers that have a lot of potential, a lot of potential. But I'm going to be discussing that and more when I come back.